be honest, are you actually here for financial advice in this video, or just validation that your Starbucks habit isn't why you'll die poor? Anyway, here's a cold hard truth about joining America's wealthiest 10%. The magic number to join the 10%, as of 2025 according to Forbes, is you need at least $1 million to crack the top 10%. And maybe that doesn't actually sound like a huge number to you, but to have all of that, all you need is have 2.5 median priced American homes, or 10 Silicon Valley parking spaces, or Jeff Bezos' hourly rate. But if you don't have any of those, then we move on to the next section, which is the three horsemen of wealth building. Number one is the income problem. The median American makes almost $60,000, and the top 10%, well, their starting earnings is almost $200,000. So for the common American to get there, then you need to cover this gap. And why this is important is because your savings rate is limited by your income ceiling. Someone making $60K a year and then saving 20% of that, which means they save $12,000 per year, they're going to need over 80 years just to reach 1 million. But if you made $200,000 savings at 20%, you'll get there in 25 years. Add in some smart investing and a higher savings rate, then even 5 to 10 years becomes quite reasonable. So the hack here is improve your income, and there's no cocaine consumption necessary. Because I'm sure we've all heard that Wall Street bankers do Coca-Cola, and we all know that Wall Street bankers are rich. But really there's only about probably a 45% correlation with Pepsi, Coke, and higher income. And that might actually be a made-up statistic, but the reality is that they're spending 80-hour work weeks closing deals, and if you're trying to join them, the 10%, then you might actually need to also, or at least spend more time working your job. So in this case, to improve your income, consider pivoting and or pursuing higher paying jobs. I understand that a bachelor's degree in religious studies may have been calling to you like a heavenly choir, but it just might not pay as well as some of these. Like if you were in the tech sector, which usually pays $100,000 or more, which you then need a 4-year degree in computer science, maybe go to a coding boot camp, Amazon Web Services certification, etc. You can also look into in-demand trades, being an electrician, an HVAC person, or be in the medical field. And if none of those sound appealing to you, then you can also look into a few side hustles that can also add to your monthly income at the cost of just a bit more of your weekly time. You can even pick up a second job, even when you don't need it to pay the bills, just to help you get there faster. And my honorary mention, the ultimate key to earning more money is marrying rich. And there's also too many videos out there about saving money and stuff, so we'll skip that part. Now here's a typical roadmap for the 10%. We start at phase 1, which is called financial sobriety, and I'm sure everyone's heard of these. But what you want to do is start with a high-paying job, and if you don't, then be very focused on the following: maxing your 401k, buying a used Toyota, and make sure it's a Toyota because they last a long time for cheap. You also want to learn to cook rice or potatoes in 47 different ways, and be conflicted about whether you get avocado toast or daily Starbucks latte, and then you eventually settle on a cup of room temperature water. Now phase 2 is the compounding awakening. Now, we all hear that reaching your first 10,000 or 1,000 can be the hardest, but your first million is going to happen while you sleep. And then you start judging your friends' car purchases. Phase 3, you start experiencing rich people problems, where your money makes more than you do, and it sets in a lot of jealousy, like the younger sibling you had that was just better than you in every way. You'll start worrying about asset allocation. Your kids will start expecting an inheritance. Now that we've walked through all those phases, why doesn't this straightforward advice work for most people? Number one, the problem is time. Is that walking through the steps is very quick, but in reality, building wealth takes decades, and most people quit after 18 months when they don't see Lamborghini results. Number two is behavior. For example, the average investor underperforms the market by 5% annually because they panic sell, they chase trends, or they're too busy paying fees to financial advisors who drive BMWs or Tesla Cybertrucks. Number three is just simple math. at $60,000 income, if you save 20%, that's $12,000 a year. After 30 years at 7%, let's say year over year growth, that actually gets you 1.13 million. But who actually wants to save 20% of their salaries and wait 30 years? Because that is just boring. Now, to make this a little bit easier for you, here's a quick shortcut. Especially if you don't want to be that extreme, if you don't want to do all those things that we've mentioned. Number one, you can move to a flyover state because a $300,000 house in Ohio beats a 1.2 million shoebox in San Francisco. Number two, you can marry another earner. This is similar to marrying rich, but they don't have to be that rich because dual six-figure incomes is going to be a lot more than just you. And number three, ignore financial news. CNBC makes money from your anxiety, so just shut them out and mute them. Now, all of this does come at a cost, the psychological cost, because you will miss out on, let's say, experiences, or at least delay experiences. You'll become allergic to luxury brands because you see it for what it's worth. You will start developing spreadsheet-related arousal. But in 30 years, you're going to be known as the weirdo who retired at 55, while your coworkers pray for Social Security. So the final warning here is that the top 1% starts at 11 million. Now these people, they're not 10 times smarter than you, they're just 10 times more ruthless. So choose your pain, either short-term deprivation or lifelong wage slavery.